We were robbed. Here's how we recovered, are rebounding, and rebuilding. Hi, I'm Ben Wong. On Wednesday, May 1st, I discovered that the San Francisco office of my company, Dare Fashion, had been broken into and burglarized. The thieves stole $300,000 of equipment and merchandise. Amongst other equipment, they took 2 computers, 2 tablets, 2 printers, 2 postal scales, and 2 smartphones. Sounds a little like Noah's Ark. But the biggest losses came on the merchandise side. They stole all my accessories, including 1,000 necklaces, 300 pairs of leggings, 750 tops and dresses, and nearly 1,200 costume packages. The retail value of the costume packages alone was over $100,000. At the time, we had been packing our best stuff into rolling bags to sell at the 4th Gathering, a World Goth Day convention. They took all of that too. When I first saw our front door hanging wide open and the empty shelves, my first reaction was to say the F word. More than a few times. Then I called the police. After that, I was nearly overcome with anger and frustration and sadness. But I employed a technique that I've picked up over the last few years when having to deal with multiple stacking, losses, and setbacks. I gave myself a set amount of time, in this case 15 minutes, to really feel sorry for myself. And then I took all those feelings, I put them in a box, and I said, okay, Benny, time to make a plan and deal. And we rallied. It was a big job, but my staff and I inventoried what was left and packed what we could for World Goth Day. I called my landlord, and he offered me a more secure location in another building he owns in Japantown. I asked a friend to reorder a few of the accessories. That night, against the advice of the SFPD, I slept in the old office to guard the stuff that was left. And on Thursday, with the help of some amazing friends, we moved the remaining merchandise to the new Japantown location. By midday Friday, I was driving to Alameda to set up our booth for World Goth Day when AC/DC's Back in Black came on the radio. The quadruple entendre literally brought me to tears. I was wearing all black, driving a car full of black fashion, trying to bring my company back from the dead the way that AC/DC did in 1979 and get us financially back in the black. I was back in the ring to take another swing. And on Saturday, we crushed the World Goth Day event. We rocked the fashion show, and the response to our outfits and our fashion was overwhelmingly positive. Even though much of our best stuff was stolen, we still had a continuous line of folks heading into the dressing room, and we did steady sales throughout the day, reaffirming my company's concept, mission, and product market fit. For over 17 years, Dare Fashion has been creating confident, curvy couture. Gothic, Victorian, Renaissance, and Steampunk-inspired clothing in sizes small to 5X, ethically made right here in San Francisco, with quality workmanship and a strong commitment to sustainability. We're proud to have helped tens of thousands of women look better and feel better, offering them our concierge customer service and creating work for local pattern makers and cutting and sewing shops. But through all of this, I made one really big mistake. I had $1 million business insurance policy, but it turned out to be liability only, so none of the stolen property was covered. It took me a while to ask for help, because I was embarrassed about this error, and I didn't feel comfortable saying, "I screwed up, please help me." I also didn't like the idea of portraying myself as a victim of the robbery. But after our success at World Goth Day and seeing the joy on the faces of our customers, I'm more determined than ever not to give up. I left my nails painted black to remind me of the back in black triumph of that day. And I've shifted my mindset into, how do I make the worst thing that's ever happened to me the best thing that's ever happened to me? How do I turn this robbery into something that didn't happen to me, but happened for me? With that in mind, I set up a GoFundMe to replace essential equipment, remake our best-selling styles, replenish accessories and leggings, and to generate seed money to start a podcast with the theme, Tough Times Don't Last, Tough People Do. This is the first episode of the podcast. If you know anything about my personal story, you'll know that in recent years, I've been knocked down and gotten back up repeatedly. My engagement fell apart. My mom had multiple strokes and I became her primary caregiver. Amongst my close friends and associates, there were 3 accidental deaths, 2 drownings, now 4 suicides, 2 overdoses, 3 cancer losses, and 1 murder-suicide. I've been robbed, hacked, cheated, had a rat infestation, had to shut down 1 business, and was in a bike crash. But also, I was able to complete an Ironman triathlon, hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail, and my mom and I are closer than ever. We all go through tough times and losses. This podcast will be about how we survive them, process them, and keep moving forward. I plan to tell some of my own stories and share some of my coping mechanisms and mindset tricks. I also will invite guests to share their stories of resilience and recount how they moved through their most difficult life challenges. Life can be really hard, especially in these strange times that we're living in. If you're going through hard times, I hope my podcast will let you know that you're not alone. With a touch of humor and a healthy dollop of faith and optimism, we'll rise from the ashes together, one step at a time. Whatever pain we're feeling right now, it won't last forever. Tough times never last. I invite you to join me on this journey. You can subscribe to the podcast, or contribute to the GoFundMe, or buy some Dare Fashion. Or just share with folks you think might be interested. If you've got podcast production skills, or you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, I would love to hear from you. Don't be afraid to reach out. When I finally got over my bad self and asked for help, the outpouring of support from friends, family, and community made one thing abundantly clear. We're all in this together. Except for the thieves who stole my stuff. Y'all on your own, and karma's coming to get ya. To the rest of you, thank you.